In shooters, headshots are the holy grail, often sporting massive damage multipliers that reward the precision needed to land them. Despite the incredible damage potential they provide, I would go as far as to say that most headshots happening in all the lobbies around the world right now could be summed up as happy accidents. It is so tempting and natural to simply aim at the center of mass, which tends to be in the upper chest. It's the biggest target, and therefore the most forgiving, and sometimes this leads to an incidental headshot as it's not far away. If you don't believe me, whenever you jump into your next FPS game, try a throwaway round of exclusively aiming for headshots only and see just how different it feels. I actually did a 10-day headshots only challenge in Apex a while back that had some very interesting results, so if you want, you could check that video out in the description. The reason we don't always aim for the head is because it's very hard to do. It's particularly unforgiving for tracking an AD strafing opponent. Let's say we're aiming at the center of mass of a target that changes direction. We have to wait for our reaction time to catch up, and even though we haven't adjusted anything yet, we can still land some free shots as the upper chest moves back through the crosshair. And when we acknowledge their change in direction, we can adjust back and have a wide area for the crosshair to land in. Alternatively, let's say we are aiming at the center of the head. When they change direction, our crosshair almost immediately falls off them, so we're no longer doing any damage. And when we adjust back to them, it's a small area to try and land that crosshair in. There absolutely is a time and place for headshots, especially if you're a higher level aimer, and honestly, it's something people should be trying to do far more often than they currently are. This leads me to a simple middle ground that I found to be extremely useful, and that is aiming for the neck. We aren't robots, and we're not always going to hit exactly where we intend to, so by aiming for the neck, we still have the security of easily accessible body shots, and in particular, a horizontal line that covers the shoulders on most humanoids. The neck area often counts as a headshot, and even if it doesn't against the particular hitbox you're shooting at, any misses above your target become headshots. Any misses below are standard body shots, to the sides are more body shots, and only misses to the far upper left and right are complete misses. Using Reaper in Overwatch 2 as an example, if I place two different circles around intended targets, we can use the number of pixels inside to determine the average DPS between them. The larger circle represents a lower skilled aimer with more variance, and the smaller circle represents a higher skilled aimer with less variance. This example isn't perfect, and the pixels toward the outside should probably be weighted less, which would further support the next strategy. With our smaller circle aimed at the upper chest, there are 3,376 pixels landing a body shot and 756 pixels landing a headshot. If each pixel represents 1 damage, that's 3,376 damage to the body, and 1,512 damage from the 756 headshot pixels with a 2 times multiplier. That's a total of 4,888 damage when aiming at the upper chest. If we move that circle to the neck instead, we get 2,128 damage in body shots and 4,104 in headshots for a total of 6,232 damage. That's an increase of 27.5% more damage just from aiming at the neck instead. And to cover all our bases, moving the circle to the head gives us 5,010 damage in headshots and 377 damage in body shots for a total of 5,387, which has the neck shots doing 16% more damage. With the larger circle, which represents more variance in aim, upper chest had 12,911 damage, the neck had 12,455 damage, and the head only had 9,019 damage. This would indicate that the lower level your aim is, the more you benefit from having a larger target like the upper chest or neck. And the better your aim is, the more you are rewarded for aiming at the neck or head. This method isn't perfect by any means, and the results would change drastically depending on hitboxes and many other factors, but regardless, it's a decent proof of concept. Having a specific target in mind, like the neck when aiming, does some amazing things for us. It's a great shortcut for learning to focus on enemies rather than simply looking at them. Video all about that linked below. It's a very important concept. It also helps us to aim deliberately and to have intention behind our aiming movements. It's very easy to accidentally be aiming on autopilot, so using the cue for aiming at the neck, head, body, whatever it is, so long as there's an intended target, your aim becomes more deliberate, calculated, and ultimately more accurate. Aiming for the neck in particular is a great cue for a variety of reasons. Firstly, as we covered earlier, there is higher damage potential. And secondly, it's novel, which makes it stand out more, which makes it easier to remember and to actually do in-game. The next game you play, if it's not the headshot round I suggested earlier, make an effort to remind yourself to aim for the neck of everyone you encounter. I think you will be pleasantly surprised with both your overall accuracy and your faster time to kill. To summarize, aiming for the neck gets you the best bang for your buck. In the majority of situations, it's better than aiming at the upper chest or the head. So it's a safe rule to play by, and it's never really a bad choice, even if it's not necessarily the best in every situation. To get the most out of having an intended target, you'll need to assess the situation. If you are using a bolt-action sniper that one-shots to the head or two shots to the body, you are highly incentivized to aim for the head. Or if you're versing slow-moving, big and steady targets like tanks in Overwatch, you can get away with aiming purely for headshots if your aim is good enough. And on the other end of the spectrum, if your target is highly mobile and difficult to follow, aiming for the center of mass can become the most realistic target. The key here is to choose a spot and aim at it. Don't leave it up to autopilot. I hope you found this helpful, and if you do try this out, let me know how you go in the comments below. You can check out the Clawmate mouse mod I designed over at StruthGamingGear.com. To see what happened after aiming only for headshots for 10 days, check out this video here. Thanks so much for watching, be sure to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll catch you in the next one.